Jack Eeles, big Eelesy, mate. Congratulations on completing a really successful 2017 Rookie Me Elite Academy. Okay, mate. It can't go unnoticed the level of commitment that all of our athletes show, but for you specifically, to commit your time, effort, inside school holidays, which is essentially your time to get better. It's a real testament to your character, to your commitment to your footy, and also obviously your support from your family. And there's a lot of things that you could be doing otherwise, but for you to give up time with family and friends to give yourself the best chance to improve and to put yourself in an environment that is essentially developed to challenge you. It's not an easy thing, but mate, it's something you should be proud of and take a lot of confidence from. All right. So firstly, mate, well done. And secondly, mate, as your head coach, I want to take this opportunity to go through a bit of a review on the year. It's important at elite level that you go away with every little bit of education you possibly can to continually build on your football education. And I know that we've gone through a lot of stuff, probably a bit more specific with you, which has been fantastic with your obviously your time in the office and and the countless amount of hours I got you watching footage and cutting it up and understanding the different education that we look to go through. And but it's a great insight, I guess, into what standards you need to be aiming for. To continually look to be the best player you can be. Okay, so you might remember, and I'm sure you do, at the April camp we really challenged every athlete in the elite group to stand up for what you are and what you believe you are, and the image you want to portray, and the wristband and the instrument, and you taking responsibility for your own development is a big part of growing up, all right? And your family can provide you with great opportunity. I can provide you with great coaching staff that support and educate you. But unless you grab it, it's all a little bit pointless, all right? But mate, from the Jack I know and the Jack that we've that's become a part of the Rookie Me crew, you're a great person to have within our program, and you've really enhanced what we do. And enhance the program, mate. You're the kind of kid that we love to work with. One that turns up with great enthusiasm and a great thirst to learn. All right, so I've had a chance to sit with each of our coaches. Chris with skills, Darcy with high performance, and Dan with leadership, and really go through, I guess, the specifics that we want you to go away with to take into the off season, but also obviously into the start of next year. So grab a pen and paper. I'll go through the review. I'll also go through the online system and really try and paint, a picture of what you can get out of the system, and make sure that you really understand the benefits. And then a couple of points that I've also got tagged in this email as well that I'll go through. So just grab a pen and paper. I'll go to the review. So I spoke with Pendles first. And we obviously looked at the first subject within the Academy of Skills. And when we look at our topics within skills, we focus on our fundamental skills, which are referring to how we execute, the skills that we have that are unique to the game of AFL footy and how we execute them. The game sense of how we think about the game, how we read the game as it's happening, and then also combat skills, so the physical side of the game. We break those down. So from a fundamental skills point of view, our aim is to develop, as I said, the key skills of the game. So kicking, handballing, and ball handling. You can never do too much of this development. It's probably the most important part of footy, is to be the most sound, skillful player as you can be, and that incorporates, as I said, ball handling and the use of the ball. At the elite level, we look to do that at speed and under pressure. As a junior kid, it's just purely about the technique of the drills, of the skills, and as you get older, it's about executing those skills under as much pressure as possible, and that's where obviously your value will lie, in how well you can do that. Game sense, as I said, it's above the shoulders. The between the lines education is I guess the need to knows. The reality of AFL footy is that you're not always around the ball, so looking at how you can still impact the game when you're 100 metres away. So reading the play, defending dangerous space, impacting or locating. Those are some key points that we went through and as I said, looking at how we can impact the game without necessarily having it in our hands. Today's game, looking at the Crows and GWS, both finals teams, top 4 teams. Looked at the way that they played, how they moved the ball, how they also defended the ball. So those teams are the 2 teams that we focused heavily on. Both very different in the way they play the game, and it probably shows as they go through the final series. Combat skills, embracing the combat is the theme. At this age of your development, it's important to understand that it is a physical game, but having the proper techniques, but also having a real thirst for the contest is a real critical part of your footy. Okay, so now you're tackling in different variables of your tackling, so front on, side on, from behind, grabbing an arm in a tackle, rolling them to the ground, all that sort of stuff. The technique of that's really critical. Hand-to-hand combat, so controlling your opposition, not just letting them lead where they want to go, or trying to get past you or whatever. It's about using your hands to gain control of that one-on-one hand-to-hand combat, and then weapon with the footy. So when we gather the ball, turning the aggression around from the tackler being the aggressor to the ball carrier. So just remembering those key points for that subject. Moving on to high performance, our key areas were around the combine testing, the conditioning element, recovery and nutrition. The combine testing, looking at the numbers that you gather, and I'll go through that in a moment with the online system. But translating these tests into AFL and understanding how they impact at AFL level, but also using the numbers as best you possibly can. So, whether you're 10 or whether you're 18, it's important that we've exposed you to this testing and continually expose you to it, because this is the stuff that is essentially going to translate to the way you play, or the way you're conditioned for the game. AFL conditioning, going through things like change direction, straight line running, power, endurance, aerobic endurance, anaerobic endurance, fitness. So, taking that combine testing and those the things that we test for there, and then looking to translate them into conditioning program and conditioning sessions. Recovery wise, we focused heavily around so all the stock standards, so stretching, water-based recoveries, massage, self-massage, stuff like that. But for elites, we were looking to focus around the yoga and mobility, and really trying to enhance our mobility in our body. Looking at getting optimum angles in our joint ranges and all that sort of stuff. So looking at stretching and yoga and mobility is a really critical part of recovery. So again, with some of this stuff, make sure you get on the system and download it. It's still on there. Make sure you get on there and make the most of that. And nutrition, I know we didn't get the chance to actually go through a presentation. I have posted some stuff on the system though for you to download. Around a weekly diet plan. Focusing on what I eat when I eat it. So across the week. At your age, it's important to focus on not just game day, but it's important to focus on when you're training. So when you're training, how you're preparing to fuel your body prior to training, and also how you're helping it recover after. So, and setting good habits around nutrition is a critical message that we wanted to say as well. Looking at the final subject of leadership, goal setting is obviously a main focus of what we do. The trademarking and youth topics. So looking at each of these in depth. The goal setting, as an elite athlete, we look to focus you guys on all aspects of your life. So on field, off field, at home, at school or at work, and in the community. So again, setting good habits. I challenge you to, in the off season, really look to continually set yourself little goals along the way. And even if it is just helping around the house more, walking the dog twice a week, doing your fundamental 550 3 times a week, or whatever it is. Just keep setting yourself goals so you set yourself good habits, and we obviously challenge you to aim to do that across every facet of your life. Looking at trademarking, we talked in January about no BSing, so we don't want you to just say what you think is right. We want you to say it, but then actually commit to it and do it. Okay, so we came up with these 3 words. So committed, resilient and respectful, and we challenge you to continually put yourself out there, and challenge yourself to be, the most committed, resilient, and respectful person you can be. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations to always continually develop your character development. And your instrument, it's a really important one. Your instrument, it's like, what do you bring? What do you bring to your team? What do you bring to your school? What do you bring to your house? What do you bring to your community? What are you known for? What do you want to be known for? And that's where we introduced that instrument, and hopefully you got something out of that this year. And then the final topic was obviously youth topics, where we were lucky enough to have David Logan, a police officer in the Victorian Police. He came along and talked about his life of discrimination as an Indigenous man in Australia, and talked about his life of being a part of the stolen generation, and meeting his family for the first time at age 45, and just giving you a snapshot, I guess, of that everyone in this world is different, and we need to respect each and every person, no matter their background or their culture. So I'll just go now to looking at the online system. I really want to make sure that you understand the power that the system has, and the abilities that you do have, when gaining these numbers. Now, I'll look at my profile and just as an example. So, right here I've got my numbers on the system, and the beauty of this is whether or not you come to a Rookie Me event, or you're testing at school, you can put these numbers in all year. And what those numbers do, if you consistently put them in, is it starts to build you a bit of a graph of progression, and to see exactly where you're at, and whether that's your ability score or it's a 20-meter sprint or whatever. That's where you can get the most benefit out of consistently putting numbers in. And I guess what the Rookie Me system's known for is the rookie list. This is where you can compare yourself against. If you look here, there's 151 pages of around 20 per page. So there's thousands and thousands of people that you can compare against from all over the country, different states, different playing positions. You can really start to grasp what levels you're at and what levels you want to try and reach. Okay, so for me, if I compare myself, a ruckman, I can look at any of the groups that I'm in, so any of the teams I play for, anyone who's following me, I'll click everyone. And any of the tests that I want to look at, 20-meter sprint, agility, again, I'll go ability. And if I click that and I filter that, it starts to paint a picture that's relevant to me. So here I've got all the ruckmen in the system. There's around 120 to 150 ruckmen on the system, so I can look here and I see I'm ranked number 3. So from here I can go over here and start to compare. I look at this, and Jordan Smith's in our Elite Academy along with Josh Hicks. Click those guys, click onto compare. Then all of a sudden I'm using that data, and I'm actually starting to really see where my numbers stack up against guys that I'm competing against, or I'm chasing down. So it's a really cool tool, and as I said, you can see what teams they play for, the ages they are, and you can really start to grasp that. And I guess the cool thing about Rookie Me is that we've been lucky enough in the last couple of years to have some guys that have been using the system be drafted, or having AFL players. So you literally could sit here on draft night, and anyone who gets drafted, you can literally log in and see if they're on the system, and you can start comparing against guys that are being drafted as they go. So here, Matty Cruz is obviously one of the premier ruckmen in the AFL. I can chuck him in, and I can start to see some numbers. So it's a really cool tool that it's important that you understand how you can access it. Something else really cool is the news page. So you obviously love your footy. So here's somewhere that it's got great little stories that have we've got some great writers that get on and write some really in-depth stories for us, and make sure you get on there and check that out as well. I guess the other main thing being the Rookie Me Junior Academy page. This is where information throughout the year we talk, but mainly going through to the club room and downloading these documents and getting the most out of the system that you possibly can. It's a really critical part of our program, and to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. Just a reminder there to get on and do that. So and you'll notice in the email that we sent through, there was a few links on there that are important that I go through. So looking at the Rookie Me Parents page, so making sure you pass on to mum and dad this page, this closed group that we've created on Facebook. It's an initiative that we threw up this year as a way for parents to be supported by each other, but also by us. So easily communicate and contact with us, and parents get on there and show how their kids are developing and progressing, and playing 150 games and all that sort of stuff. So it's a really cool addition to what we've done. And so make sure mum and dad, all you got to do is go to the Rookie Me page, get on there, you go down, you'll click on it, send through a link. Someone, the admin at Rookie Me, will accept you and you'll be a part of the group. So it's a really cool addition, so make sure you pass that on to mum and dad. And then the final one was the refer a friend. At Rookie Me, we're really keen to find like-minded athletes, and for you who know the challenges of Rookie Me, the commitment, the fun, the education that we try to teach. We want to give you the chance to refer on some friends that are just as keen as you, but also get a benefit from it. So as soon as you sign up to next year's academy, you'll be sent an email with all the information in it, but you'll have the opportunity to send through a refer to some friends and give them a discount straight away. So you give them a 5% discount on the academy straight away, plus you'll receive 5% reimbursed back to you, up to 50%. So the more athletes you refer, the more reimbursement you get, and the more discount you get. So it's a cool opportunity, and something that we want to. I just wanted to make sure that, again, you understand and you can be across that. So, mate. So to wrap up, again, it's a long road, I guess, in terms of development, and the pathway we look to build is, we essentially want to continually challenge and develop you as the best footballer you can possibly be. Through education, through reaching out to Darcy, we want to create the best athlete you can be, and then through continually challenging yourself and putting yourself in the deep end, we want to make you the best person that you can be. Okay, and look, in the end, challenging yourself in each of these three areas is what's going to help you develop the best. So doing your skills at high intensity, putting your hand up in class and asking to volunteer, or or seeking Darcy out, or going and doing extra recovery, and really understanding the finer points of each of the education topics and subjects that we've gone through, and look to develop, because whether you play AFL footy or you play 300 games for your local footy club, the key right at this very second is that you are the best player you can be right now, and we look to continually develop that. Okay. And look, mate, from my point of view, across the board in each of those areas, you're very sound in each area. It's almost like you're a little bit of a baby giraffe, and you're still growing into your body. I was probably lucky in a sense that I always had a fair bit of size on me, so I wasn't as lanky as what your good self is. But mate, you're a good size. You're a good, got great athleticism. When you play the game, again, just keep challenging yourself to do it at high speeds, under high pressure, because that translates in the game so well. Okay, that's going to be the big thing. And this thing should be the most important thing to you in the off season, mate. The more and more comfortable you can get with the footy in your hands is going to help even more. And then, mate, from a leadership and a character and a person point of view, could not question it. You remind me very much of another young fella that was a part of our very, very, very first program. I reckon 7 or 8 years ago. And this guy is, he's got character coming out his eyeballs, and he was 17 at the time, and he came and did our camps, and to this day is one of my best mates now. And you've got the same character traits. You're extremely passionate. You're extremely you're extremely loyal, and you're a very coachable kid, and you listen to everything, you take everything on board, and mate, have so much time for kids that embrace every opportunity that mum and dad provide, and look to enhance themselves as people. So as I said, mate, this guy that came along when he was just a young fella, he actually was the MC at my wedding. He's been a great part of mine and my wife and my young son's life, and as I said, I can see a lot of traits, and that's a really big accolade, mate. He's a great boy, and I see you as in very similar mould So from a character point of view and a person point of view, mate, rate you extremely highly. So, mate, keep that as a strength in your life and you'll go a long way. Looking forward to finish off the year. It's going to be a super event to finish off. We've got obviously our carnival event playing out of Essendon Footy Club. We were at Richmond, but somehow the Tigers made the grand final, so we've had to move the event. But Essendon's still a great venue, great club. We'll get to have a tour of the elite facility that they train at. We've got the Basher Hooley AFL Academy squad coming along to play us in our carnival event, which is in our round robins, which is going to be really cool. And then our coaching staff will be out on the field and taking all the education we've learnt and really put it into practice as we play. Really trying to ram home that education so we continue to build, as I said before. So that's going to be cool. And then the week after, we've got the AFL Combine, which is such a cool event. We're very proud that as the AFL program, we get to take our athletes, all of our athletes, so 200 plus athletes along to Etihad Stadium to soak up all of the atmosphere, soak up the opportunity to watch the elite kids in the country test, to really get an insight of what the kids go through and what the the sort of challenges they have to deal with to put their best foot forward to try and be drafted. And then the AFL have actually put aside a 2.5 hour block for us to do the combine testing, which is such a cool thing, which essentially means the basketball court that's down on the wing at Etihad Stadium where they set up all the testing. We take our elite athletes down there and we do a verified testing event, a full verified testing event on Etihad Stadium. So doing all the tests, sprint agility, vertical jumps. In terms of timing, if timing includes, we'll also do obviously the beep test or the yo-yo. Not 100% sure which one, but we get to do all the testing down on the flooring, which again doesn't happen. So heaps of cool stuff still to happen to finish the academy off, which is super exciting. But mate, if you need anything specifically post events, mate, if you need ask questions, you need any advice, seek me out, seek us out, ask questions, mate. You're always, you're one of our favourites, and as I said, we embrace kids that embrace opportunities, and you're one of those. And mate, if you need anything along the journey, if it's girl advice, you probably should ask Darcy. He's a much better looking man than me, but mate, other than that, we're here to help you. We're here to enhance your this holistic approach to your life, and we want to develop you as much as we can moving forward. All right, so mate, reach out. 0390 205655 is the office. If you can't get me straight away, I'll get a message, or Darcy will get a message, or whoever and we'll get back to you. And also email us at academy@rookieme.com. Other than that, mate, take care, be safe. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of days to finalise our last couple of events, and look forward to seeing you putting your best foot forward there, mate. So take care, be safe, see you soon. See you, mate.